Testing, 1, 2, 3. Yes, correct.
Yeah, that's the idea, is to write it nice and big and dark so that Andrea can read it, right? That's the point.
Good morning, class.
Good morning.
How is everyone today?
Fine.
Excellent. Well, today we're going to learn about directions and maps. So it's important to learn how to follow directions so you know how to get from point A to point B, someplace you want to go. And it's also important to know how to give directions, because someday somebody might ask you, well, how do I get to your house? Or how do I get to your business? And you're going to need to explain it so that they don't get lost. And also, it's important to know how to read a map and how to use it to make your life a little easier. So let me write that goal here on the board. Have any of you ever gotten lost?
Oh, yes.
Yes? Is it fun? No. I don't like to get lost either. What did you do when you were lost?
Ask directions to the other person.
Yes, I've stopped at a gas station before to ask directions, to be able to follow directions. Has ever anyone asked you to give them directions before? Like maybe somebody thinks, oh, you seem to know what you're doing, so I'll ask you for directions. Has anybody asked you for directions?
Yes.
Yes? It's kind of difficult sometimes to explain it, isn't it?
Yes.
Give directions and use a map.
You can erase the spelling words if you like.
All right, thank you. Okay, so let's think about why it's important to learn how to follow directions, give directions, and use a map. I know we have the internet, MapQuest, Google Maps, and GPS. It makes our life so easy. But can you think of a reason why we really need to learn this? Why should we be able to use a map? Like, do we always have Google Maps and MapQuest? Can we always rely on that?
Maybe
No.
going to buy the car.
Exactly, and my car doesn't even have GPS. It's not one of the newer cars, and sometimes I've wanted to go somewhere, like maybe meet a friend somewhere, and my internet connection is down that morning, so I can't print an easy map with MapQuest little directions that are easy, like step 1, step 2. So I had to get my old trusty map out of the back of my car. These California maps, or you can get them from San Diego or anywhere you're going. All right. So that's one reason. And let's see, any other reasons why it's important to know how to do this? So you don't get lost. That's a fabulous reason.
Yes.
If you didn't know how to use a map or how to follow somebody's directions when they tell you, you'd be lost and you'd just be wandering around in circles. You'd go around the city and around and waste a lot of time. So that's another reason. All right. Well, I could find my compass at home, but have you seen a compass before? You hold it, and it moves, like there's north, east, south, and west, and north will move to wherever north is. So if I move like this way, north would be that way. It just happens that where we live, the mountains are kind of north. So let's say the back of the room is north. Because if I did have my compass, which you can imagine in my hand, the back of the room would be north because my compass would have north on like this side and south would be down here. So let's write that. So I'm just going to go this way, meaning the back of the room is north. And then south would be the front of the room. So I'm to the south and Rosie back there is towards the north. And the way it goes is north and then east is over here.
West.
And west. Kind of like towards the ocean from where we live in Southern California. But unfortunately, if you travel, you can't rely on, the mountains are north. That's not going to be true. The ocean might be south if you travel. All right? So let's practice using these by having you all stand up, please. And I'm going to ask you to face north. So think about which way we just said was north, and face north. Very good. Now I would like you to face east. Fabulous. Face south. Good. All right. And face west. Perfect. Now you may sit down. Good. So now we're going to go a little faster, and I'm going to start walking in different directions, and I would like you to just shout out which direction I'm walking in. Okay, so I'm going to start here. Here I go.
South, east, north, west, north, south, west.
Good. All right, now I'm going to get a little bit more confusing because instead of going in straight lines, I'm going to go at diagonals like this. What is between north and west?
Northwest.
Northwest. Good. Northwest. And what is between south and west?
Southwest.
Good. Southwest. And between north and east?
Northeast.
Northeast. Right. For some reason, we always start out with either north or south, so it wouldn't be like east-north, that sounds funny. So, and between south and east? Southeast. Excellent. All right, so now one more time, I'm going to walk in these diagonals, and you can tell me which way I'm going. All right?
Northeast.
Northeast, right? Okay.
Southwest.
Southwest, very good.
Northwest.
Northwest, excellent.
Southwest.
Perfect. All right, I think you have the directions down as far as the compass goes very well. So now we can move on. I'm going to hand out a little worksheet for you. We'll just pass it down. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions on the compass directions? Sometimes they call this the compass rose. I don't know if they think it looks like a rose that's open, but the directions as far as northeast, southwest,